Greetings mortals, I am Natas, the ruler of the underworld, and today we will be reacting to the newest chapter of Four Knights of the Apocalypse, chapter 120, titled Banquet for Braves. Banquet for Braves? Alright, I'm not entirely excited about this title because I'm pretty certain that last week's title was something like Banquet for the Strongest or something like that. Which, to be fair, seems to be pretty inaccurate title considering what happens in this chapter. But something about the Banquet for Braves just doesn't feel right. Maybe it's something else, but just saying, it seems kind of a weird title for now. Maybe it's gonna be different in the anime. Well, maybe it's gonna be different in the volume release, but we have to wait and see for that. So, anyways, we start this chapter off in like a page. Well, not start this chapter off. We start the first page is Percival wearing probably like the most decent outfit he wore in the entire story, which is kind of like a normal shirt, some military pants, some sneakers, a jacket that has his friends around them, as well as the shirt has sin on them. And yeah, as there also is some writing on the jacket below nausea that says, "What are we waiting for? Let's get going." Well, I guess I have to wait a second and get going with this chapter. So the first page is with the I guess the group fights because we have Anne. They're asking where Percival is, and she's like, "Where are those two right now? Where did you take Percival?" Not her, Mort like that, obviously, but I guess she assumes it's Chaos Staff. And also, some little funny visually, some little funny visual detail is the fact that that Donnie has his powers still on Gawain as she's in the air, but the fact is he didn't he doesn't hold her in his arms or like or anything like that. He just has to like float in the air as her rear is turned to the Chaos Knights. As she's kind of looking like she's kind of shaking. She's like, "Can you please put me somewhere more reasonably down so I can get out of these restraints or something?" But yeah, it's just kind of funny how this looks like. Also, I don't know what Cheon and Isolde are looking at right now because they seem to be looking at up, which I'm kind of guessing they're looking at Trishan facing the fusion thing, but I don't exactly know. But then we get a panel with Roseback, who doesn't really respond. I guess she's just. I guess doesn't want to tell them. Obviously, as in we cut to the chaos staff as we focus on its eye. Then in the panel where we are again focus on the eye, and then we go get a blank panel that's in the chaos staff. As then we cut to Arthur's fur, as we see that he has like that dark, shadowy things around his eye. Pretty much confirming visually that he can see what's going on through the Chaos Staff. So, in case anyone was wondering why the Chaos Staffs have faces or heads like kind of shapes, it's because Arthur can see through them. Which makes me wonder if he also saw through Gallant and Melascula's Chaos Staff because those two also like fused. I think they fused to Gallant. Well, I think the Chaos Staff turned to Gallant's weapon, which might still be Leona's now that I think about it. But since the body didn't disappear, so I question the weapon disappeared as well. But regardless, that we gotta see if that's gonna be relevant later on in the story. So yeah, anyways, then Arthur comments on what's going on. And Arthur's like, "I see, Mortleg's band has forced the Four Knights into battle. They've been brought. They even brought Percival to Mortleg's dueling chamber, it seems." So yeah, he's saying that a lot. He's looking at some kind of spiral. I guess he prefers to talk on look through things in spirals as he's at the battles progress. As there we have Ironside saying, "Superb news, my liege. Well done." Which now makes me kind of think that Ironside was like, "Liege, can you tell me how my brother's lie is doing?" As then we have Ironside say, "That'll eliminate one of the Four Knights of Prophecy for good. No magic is allowed in Duelist Chamber. All you can rely on is your skill in a fight." So yeah, Also, there's a question about Rosebank's not seeing Rosebank's having the dragon handle, although that might be he wasn't just checking it throughout that time period. Like maybe he just now decided to go check to see how the things are progressing. Or there's also a question in if does he know that they were keeping Gawain alive so they could bring her back to Arthur to punish her personally? I guess maybe there was some orders to keep her alive from Arthur because otherwise I don't see why he wouldn't just like see. Oh, they have Gawain captured, but they don't want to kill her. Most likely because I claim she's my niece. Or I'll put that they can kill her. I'm assuming there was some orders then, or at least there was some communication or someone thing was probably sent. I do not see why he would not be responding otherwise. Anyways, they have Ironside hyping up Mortlak as Ironside says, and my brother-in-law, Mortlak sword outclasses even mine. Your fate is sealed for all time now, Percival. So yeah, we get a bit of a power scaling going on here. And according to Ironside, Mortlak is a better duelist with a blade than him. Which makes sense when you really think about it. Duelist does so well. From what we've seen of Duelist, seems like a very like situational kind of ability. So Ironside, so Mortlak in most battles against demons or anyone would have to rely on his blade, and that's it. Assuming there's no other aspects of Duelist that we just simply do not see right now because it will be because it would not be as beneficial as this battle arena. So maybe more. So maybe Iron. So yeah, Mortlak is shown in Arson Blade's ship. So I think this is like one of those things where this is also gonna be mentioned a bit later about how good Mortlak and Ironside is, and I'll wait for it to discuss it. But yeah, keep in mind Blade versus Blade, Ironside below Mortlak. And then we get the next, and then we got to a bit on the on the I guess roof of this duelist arena, as we have Mortlak saying, "This is our second encounter, but I never gave you my name, did I? It's Mortlak." I would have thought his name was always stated, but I guess he wants to be a proper dueling gentleman when it comes to giving them. As then we have Percival just kind of being given there was like, As if Percival's like, "Can I ask you a question?" As was like, "Go ahead, we can. We were supposed to be doing one now, but we can have a little conversation." As they have possibly like, "You said the monuments behind us represent all that we're shouldering, but who is that behind you? Does he know everything that you're doing, Mortlak?" As he points out to Deodre. So I'm assuming this confirms that Deodre that there's no one else behind Mortlak outside of Deodre because otherwise you think they'll be mentioned. Like I know who Ironside is, but who is the other guy? As then we cut to Percival. He has kind of like this like symbolic kind of conversations. We have like a road, two fairies flying around the nun, who is yet to be confirmed to be Diane's daughter. That child red demon and Eel. I find good to see that a couple remembered her. And especially like how you're taking the living space of the people of Britannia, like King Arthur ordered you. That's what that's supposed to be the space that's being taken from Britannia. But still, they are shaped in a way it's more like a road than anything else. As we have Percival saying, all the pain you're causing the other clans, weirdly, or all the pain you're causing the other clans. So yeah, trying to exterminate that and all of that of them and all that. So that's why they're there. As Mortlak is just like, well, they got close up of Mortlak that I'm pretty sure is not supposed to be his face because it doesn't make any sense. As Mortlak goes into like that way more details than necessary kind of explanation on his mindset. As Mortlak says, when I was young, I spent nearly every moment with my sister. She is 5 years. She's 5 years my elder. Our mother died young, and it drove our father to drink or how he beat us. But she protected me. She raised me like a parent should. A five A few years later, she married Ironside and became pregnant by him. Kind of a weird sentencing placement by Mortlag, but maybe that's supposed to be his way of speaking rather than anything else. Since they do bring up the characters who would have different ways of speaking, like Macduff and Talaska would speak differently than Palagot from each other and Palagot and Ironside. And I guess that's the reason why he speaks this way. Although it could just be translations again. Like the title is a really weird translation in my opinion. And so yeah, but yeah, regardless, we get some explanation. As then we have person saying, "My dad's child, you mean?" As he's realizing the Audrey. As then we cut to a flashback where we get to the Demon King and all that, like Aldrich's horror monster form. As we have Mona saying, "But the holy war crushed all of their joy. The stinking poison shat from the Demon King's body. Second, my sister, Ironside tried every treatment he could, but it was no use. In the end, as we get a panel where we see uh, Ironside at Mortlak's sister's grave, kind of kneeling back. I'm sorry, I failed. As Mortlak standing behind him, holding the Audrey. Huh, kind of weird that this is the explanation since I thought it was gonna be some kind of move of blaming Ironside for it. But looking at this, it doesn't seem like Ironside did anything that was like directly horrible, like anything. He seems to have tried everything he could. So it's kind of weird that Ironside's not included in Mortlake's part. Although maybe he did play some role in it, but consider the fact that the two of them seem to be getting along quite well. I don't think, well, get along quite well as like, like there's not like a bit like mutual dislike, but it's not like everything like horrible. Like Mortlake might have been scared of Ironside when he had told him, no, 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 we have to go. You failed your mission. We need to leave. You need to go to Alpha to report. And there's also someone that's on the level since, so we shouldn't be dealing with that person. Where he was like threatened by Ironside, but it seems like. And the two with it, that could have just been like an early thing, like some characters are established earlier on, but they don't really participate in the story that much. So because there's like a big gaps between the appearances, the next time they might appear, they're a bit different. Think of like Bambiata from Bleach, where first appearance really seemed to be like a child, little girl, 10 or 15, a bit around that time period. But then she's well, let's just call her Black Widow, though, when she gets more proper screen time. So yeah, that's kind of, so you could say it's a change like that, but I don't know. It still feels like the two of them got along really well, so I don't see why he would not have Ironside with the Audrey, or maybe that he just prioritizes the Audrey so much above everyone else that it does not even. It doesn't really matter that so it doesn't really matter that Iron, like so even if he does like he has shoulder Ironside, he doesn't show him the same way as he does with Diogen. Like maybe more of a maturity kind of thing. Like more like it's an adult, so he would have only one because he has more of a priority. While Percival is more child, so he would just probably have a bunch of random people shouldering. I mean, he literally had like a random holy knight being shouldered as well. So you get the drift. Then we get a panel with Dioge's crystal statue. As we have Mota saying, "This is Dioge, the child that she left, my soul's shining light. I risk my life to protect him." As they're a person processing all this information, is like, Dioja, does that make him my brother then? Yes. And if you kill his uncle, it's gonna be a very weird family reunion. As they're more like saying, but he was poisoned in the womb too. His days are numbered, sad to say. He only lives now, thanks to the protection of Camelot, our internal kingdom. Well, I guess that's I guess if he left the kingdom, then all the poison would kind of hit him would hit him all in one go, or maybe it was gonna be something more extreme. I don't really know. I mean, I guess it's a good thing that Nazians is friends with Percival because he would be like, "Oh yeah, Nazians, can you come in? Oh by the way, Nazians, I have a brother in Camelot and I need you to heal him. Can you do that?" I guess that will be what Nazians gonna be doing in the next arc if they go to Camelot, or it's gonna be something that's gonna be acknowledged as again like that is kind of like a big thing going on where that could be where he could be very useful. Kind of also makes you wonder this is gonna lead back into the whole Nazians not knowing his parents at all because they abandoned him too young. But yeah, regardless, then we have Percival kind of passing all that, and then we have Mortler going to reach his helmet. As Mortler says, "Do you know what that means?" As he puts his, oh, he actually has like this funny thing where he puts his arm in the helmet, which is like in those like two holes. They kind of like those like how he has like that. How Mortler has like the helmet where he has like one hole here, and two holes there. Like he grabs the two holes like this, and he throws his helmet to the ground as it like kind of clatters around it as the Mortlag is completely furious, which I think is the first time we actually see him like pure anger. I think saw him like be negative previously, like when he was told his mission by Answer, but that was meant more like serious, I think. But here we have him completely angry and serious. What's going on here? About the situation, he screams, "It means you're the ones trying to take him from me! To take the only place the Order has to take his very life!" So that's the reason why Mortek is so determined. Because if you destroy Camelot, he will die, you psychos, and he wants to finish them, which makes sense. Again, this group of characters is really meant to be taken as more like you understand, you see them relatable. They're not like, oh, I'm evil, make evil, I'm traitors, I'm not loyal or anything. This is clearly meant to be taken more like these are guys clearly supposed to be taken more as like these are the characters supposed to be more villains from heroes from their own point of view. So yeah, it makes sense why he did furious and serious. As there Mortler was saying, and you have no right to rip everything away from him and from himself and from me. Since again, like the old, if okay, again, it's kind of difficult to say if how Mortler truly feels about Ironside. Again, there could be some kind of story there, but for lack of better term, he doesn't want to. They're gonna kill Deodre if they destroy Camelot. They're gonna be big troubles there, and he also lose Deodre if they succeed. Which is actually something that's called back to be after the battle with Arthur and Melvin, all that stuff, where the negative connotations for the four knights of the apocalypse, like famine, war, conquest, or I think they call it differently, and death are from the perspective of the Camelot, which was very easy to process when they were like kind of cartoonish with their cartoonish evil. But more like, hey, he's not cartoonish evil. He does it because he has to. Like, I mean, you understand his reasoning. You see why he would want to keep more like want to keep Deoja safe, and why he wouldn't really care if they punished the other races. Since again, like it was the other races that caused most of the issue. If it wasn't Holy War, then Deoja would not have been dying. So yeah, it would not be this dangerous. So you understand. Then Percival thinks about it, looks down, probably realizes this is probably this is probably the negative aspect that Meadows didn't mention. Like not in a malicious sense, but when you really think about it, what Meadows said only really works in the sense of they are a pure evil kingdom. That's why they are doing it. They're evil make evil. But he sees there's not evil, it's just good, but it's a fortunate in conflict. As the other person saying, I know how you feel, but I have to stop King Arthur and my dad too. I mean, he literally tried to kill me and killed his own father, for God's sake. Like, I don't think. I mean, I get you and your suggestion with my brother, but Ironside is just too much of a kill for me to just let you strike me down. As then we have Percival saying, and most of all, my friends are counting on me. I can't lose this. So yeah, you understand. So yeah, I guess it's like taking more of a serious, like I have to do it sense, which is again more a way better way to deal. Like he understands it, but he cannot allow it type of deal. Whereas we also have more like we're having a more furious face expression right now, but it's also very nice to show. Like he's really more chill, more like calm about it, but now he really is kind of like going all out with anger. As there we have Mortlak rising his rapier for a strike as he screams, then our only choice is to fight for it! Since like now they have to fight because alright, I gave you a chance to see if you just gonna allow me to kill you, but you refuse, so now it's time to go full out. As he strikes at Percival and his Percival's on the way, as he goes with blade strikes, as Mordek says, crush the evil, rescue the weak, and be someone who risks their life for what it's important to them. Using the uh, Holy Knight motto, which in this sense is righteous for him, which is true. Everything he says is true by Mordek's point of view. But Percival just blocks it. I'm not sure if that's more because he doesn't want to fight back fully, or if this is just Mordek's skill set level. As then we have Percival, and he starts crying. But let's stop this. I'm sure there's a good way to avoid fighting each other. I'm sure of it. I have a friend who's very good at poisons. If we take him to the Oja, he might be able to find a cure for him without needing to destroy Camelot. Because again, like that's what could have. Again, mention it, Percival. Say it. I mean, don't just say this could be a way. Mention a possibility. As they were, but the Oja seeing tears in his eyes, well, more like seeing tears in his eyes, like, it's like, I must do it. I must go for it. As then we have more like saying, I told you, boy, the only way to leave this chamber is if your opponent's dead or knocked out. That's the hand you've been dealt. So, like, even if they agree to it, one child would have to still strike the other down. Although this does not raise the question about the scenes, moments like where a character like acknowledges their defeat or like spiritually loses and gives up. Uh, I know there's like a JoJo villain who like recognized his defeat. I think it was Darby Younger actually, where he like recognized his defeat even though he didn't properly lose, so he gave his soul away. Gave his soul away to Kaku, and so he managed to restore it. Maybe if that's kind of thing, or like when 2003 Ninja Turtles, where there's that tournament and Splinter and Michelangelo were going up against each other, but Splinter didn't want to go up against his child, or said it was their turn, so he just kind of kneeled, and the judge or whatever showed up to like he would still to give like a finishing strike, and all that Michelangelo did was like grab his nunchucks and like softly hit Splinter on his shoulder, like I win, and then Splinter was eliminated. So maybe it's something like that situation. Maybe I don't know if those situations could work here. Uh, and Karakuri giving out. I mean, he still had gas in I think to fight, and Luffy also did, but he decided to just like kind of, I'll let you win because I do not care anymore. So he just accepted his defeat. So you do have to. So maybe it's like one of those situations. So I do wonder what will happen if we'll be dealing with this type of situation. As then Percival notice more like doing something, and then we have a bunch of. Then we have another Mortag appearing behind Percival, another one next to Percival, as the Mortag behind Percival says, "Not even your father could fully defend this attack." So yeah, this is the thing I was mentioning earlier, where we're gonna get some more information about the dueling between Ironside and Mortlak, where Mortlak states that although this attack that he's gonna commit to Percival is something that Ironside was not fully able to defend, but was still able to somewhat defend. I'm sure it's like one of those. He was able to get multiple strikes, block multiple strikes, but there were like at least a few that managed to hit him. So I guess this is what might be referring to, which again makes me kind of wonder what exactly does what exactly does Ironside magic, or what do the four pearls have that makes them so much above other knights? Since you remember, if that again, if like skill set, there are captains like Mortlak who are stronger than Ironside. And I'm assuming I don't exactly know if Tomatoli is one of the four. Well, Nanashi is one of the four pearls, so I'm not exactly certain exactly the skill set, but we have to wait and see. Although I do have to wonder if swordsman wise, Mortlak is better than Nanashi as well, since both of them use swords. We'll see if that's gonna be matched. But it's probably still Nanashi is better swordsman than. Maybe it's like Mortlak is more skilled than Nanashi, but Nanashi is stronger. So even if like uh, Mortlak can like dance around the Nashi. Nashi would just eventually be able to out stamina, out strength, out the damage, and still be able to get enough strikes in, similar to maybe Ironside. Like both of those two are physically, endurance, stamina, and strength wise, and speed wise better than Mortlak. But swordsman, but when it comes to like pure swordsmanship skills, Mortlak beats them. I'm assuming that might be the case, but consider the fact that it was no like comparison, it's difficult to say. Again, to be fair, Nashi could still be a better swordsman than Mortlak, but I kind of do have to wonder if Nashi that I feel like Mortlak would kind of have to be a lot higher of a swordsman. Also, all the faces that Mortlak has have different. Like one is angry, one is murky, one is like, "All right, I'm gonna take you down." And then we have all of the Mortlak faces kind of having the same expression as they're all getting ready in their rapiers. As they were more like saying, "This attack contains all of it, every single thing I feel. Thousand Cross!" I'm not just thinking it's like the strongest spell attack that Mortlak has, but needless to say, Mortlak has. We have all these Mortlaks readying themselves like that, but they're all like striking at Percival. Like I'm not sure if this is again like a duelist thing or is something he can do outside the realm because again magic is not supposed to be allowed here. Or this is just like saying how skilled Mortlak is, the fact that he can make after images of himself at a time doing something thing, but it can also like make them all strike someone down. Like this, it's visually multiple, but in reality, it's just one really fast, really skilled individual who can make multiple, makes it look like he's duplicating himself and striking every 100 billion times. Because again, like we get in his spell, he has like his blade up, but he's not really moving a single way. It's like this, but Person's like shot all over his body. And then get like a big explosion with how much he striked around him. And Percival falls is jumping, is kind of thrown in the end, falls down as the blood I think drips all over him as Mortlak says, "You must die. Die for the sake of my light." And your brother, but that's besides the point. Maybe Diogenes isn't being, maybe Mortlak doesn't consider Percival Diogenes' brother, but he technically is. But we get the explanation. Like we find out what's the deal with Deodra and his sister and all that, but we don't have an explanation on what's up with Percival and Civil and the lifespans and all that type of stuff. Since the way that the way Mortal explained it, make it sound like Percival has nothing to do with Deodra's situation. Like some of you thought maybe Deodra's soul was kicked out and he can only live in Camelot while a person will completely takes over the body or something like that. And the way Paladin talked about it, man, it's also like that's not the case. It's kind of difficult to say, especially as it seems like Deodre Mortlak was Ironside's best man rather than anything else. So it's kind of difficult to say exactly. Maybe they're half brothers, well, half siblings, because that'll make a little bit more sense why but it's still unclear, so we'll have to wait and see. Now, as for Percival, I'm not certain if this will actually work or not when it comes to King Percival, because remember, it's not like, again, like, it's difficult to say how much Percival revives, because remember, when Percival got hit by Ironside, he still had the wound. It didn't automatically heal. I think he even had the wound still on him afterwards for some time. I think he healed after that. I'm not like I said. I maybe need to go back to see if there's any like recent chapters of panels where Percival was like shirtless or something to see if he still had the scar. But after Ironside hit him, I do believe he still had it. So he still had the wound. So revival and damage are two different things when it comes to Percival's healing factor. So is this actually gonna kill him, or is it just gonna cut him 100 times? So we'll have to wait and see on that perspective. But yeah, that's the. But anyway, that's the end of the chapter. I kind of feel like we're gonna be cutting away from this chapter to focus back kind of later. While we have what's actually going on with Nauseons and Nanashi, well, Lancelot and Nanashi, and then the group versus group. I kind of feel like the group versus group is like the one that's gonna be the first one to finish because it's not really anything else. It's just kind of like groups of holy knights versus holy knights with demons or chaos. That's in chaos creation, but that one kind of feels like the least important. So that will be the first one to really end and all. But yeah, that's about it. Again, actually, after I expect us to cut to something else to get some other fight, but we'll see on that front. Now, anyways, I hope you like this chapter reaction. I hope you will like and your thoughts on this chapter in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. And with that said, I can't wait to see all of your motos next time. Goodbye.